Have you ever seen a varsity football game on television or been to a Garnets football game? It is safe to say that if you answered yes to one of the above questions, you've heard of Jim Dianni, the voice of the Garnets.
Mr. Dianni was a tight end for Rye back when he was in high school, and can now be seen in the press box of every Rye football game announcing the play-by-play commentary.
Whether you've heard his commentary or not, you can definitely learn a lot from this interview as Garnet Insider unearthed one of Rye football's greatest mysteries. Who is the voice behind the action? Let's have a look.
So tell us a little about yourself. What ties you have with the Garnet football team?
Well, having grown up in Rye, being a Rye High School graduate, I was on the football team in high school, and ever since I was very young, I have gone to the games with family members, my older brother, my uncle, and it just was always the thing for us to do on Saturdays. And, I've been following Rye football for a long time.
When did he start commentating?
Well, back in 1993, the first year that Rye went to states, Steve Moynihan, who was the president of the Football Association, had asked me to do color commentary on a game that they were talking about broadcasting that was going to be up in Kingston, the semifinal game.
Right.
So I went up there thinking that I was going to be just doing color and telling a few anecdotes and things like that. It turns out that I found out when I got there that I was broadcasting the game. And I did have a color man who was Mark Morrell. So Mark and I did that game, and then we went up and did the state championship game, which I lost back in '93.
Right.
So that's when it all started.
How has the football team changed since you were a player?
Well, I was a tight end in high school, and we didn't throw the ball very much. It was like you were a glorified tackle, a little slimmer than the tackle was. And today it's more of a wide open game, and it's a lot more fun watching the kids play than it was when I was playing.
Right. What are your famous catchphrases?
Let's see. Well, I think maybe the Aer Lingus connection that I last year with lucky enough to have two Irish names that I plugged in when Donnelly would throw the ball to Monahan. I started calling him the Aer Lingus connection. And other than that, I probably said a few things that I don't know if they'd be catchphrases, but I like to beat up on my cameraman Ronnie Prada from time to time. So I think last week when he wasn't going to be at the game, one of the things that made a lot of people laugh, I said that the bad news that Ronnie was going to be in Italy, and the good news is that he'd be able to watch the game on TV because all the Harrison games are televised live in Italy. So a few things like that. I have a little fun with it once in a while.
And what's your favorite part of your job commentating for the Garnets?
Well, just the fact that I get my 2 cents in, and my favorite part is just seeing the kids who many I knew when they were younger, and watching them, get their moment in the sun. And I enjoy, being a little bit of a part of it.
Being so dedicated to the program, when was the last time you missed the game?
Well, I actually missed one last year. Prior to that, the last time I had missed a game is in 1976.
Wow.
And prior to that, I was overseas in the Army in 1970. So I would say from 1970 until now, I've missed 2 games.
Wow. We'll definitely be listening. Thanks for coming on the show.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, good luck.
Bye-bye.
The varsity football team remains the team to beat despite only getting the 2nd seed due to new regulations for seedings. They played 2 heated games in the past 2 weeks, home against Ardsley and Pleasantville. How do they match up against 2 quality teams with winning records, coming off their thrilling victory against Harrison? Get your facts straight. Rye had to break one streak in its first-round playoff game against Ardsley on October 22nd. The mere fact that every single higher-seeded team had lost. Even Hastings upended first-seeded Edgemont 34-27. Despite this, the Garnets defied the underdog trend and soundly defeated Ardsley in their home turf. With the game knotted at 0-0 in the second quarter, Fran Archibald found Tyler Reisner for a 16-yard touchdown pass, with 7:35 left in the quarter. Keeping the Garnets on their toes, however, the Panthers ran the next kickoff back for a touchdown, making it 7-6. Rye went to the half up 14-6, and in the second half, Archibald broke loose on all sides of the ball, starting a Garnet drive single-handedly, first by causing a fumble.
Now number 1 is in a quarterback, and there's a fumble, and that's going to be covered by Fran Archibald.
Then he ran it in for a touchdown.
At fullback, Archibald's going to get the carry, And Fran Archibald.
Junior quarterback Jordan Neck then found Archibald in the end zone, easily giving the Gardens a 31-6 win. At home against Pleasantville in the second round the next week, Rye pummeled the 5-2 Panthers with a dynamic of both passing and the running game. Rye got on the board with Kyle Romalu's 3-yard touchdown run. In the second quarter, a Grady 17-yard run gave Rye a 21-0 lead. This was part of the Garnet's 310 rushing yards, compared to Pleasantville's 150. Rye came into the second half up 26-0 and did not look back. 47-7 was the final. The 8-0 Rye Garnets are looking stronger than ever as they continue to move on from the playoffs.
You know, Travis and I have been getting pretty cold in these sport games recently.
Indeed, but until all the fall teams have finished the season, I'll be watching the Garnets.
Well spoken, Travis. On November 13th, the winter season officially starts. Get ready for some team previews in our next edition.
Thanks for watching this edition of Garnet Insider. You can watch it again, along with past episodes and promos, on YouTube.com.
From the Garnet Insider crew and Rye TV, that's a wrap.
Playoffs, they're a big rival, so we're working up to that game.
The playoffs for Rye will be a true testament to this team's strength. But if they keep playing at this level, they'll be unstoppable.